Hurricane Ian was just 8 months ago, but that has not stopped the arrival of a new hurricane season.
It is hard to believe it all starts over tomorrow, especially with the lingering damage countless Southwest Florida homes still have from Ian.
It really does feel like yesterday, but tonight, Fox 4 certified meteorologist Trent Eric uses expert perspectives to show us how our storm preparations may be changing this hurricane season.
Ian devastated Southwest Florida last September. It has forever changed our coastline.
It's going to take Southwest Florida more than a decade to recover from what happened in Ian.
To put what National Weather Service meteorologist Daniel Noah is talking about into perspective, considering the more than $109 billion in damage Ian left behind, it is the costliest hurricane to ever hit our state.
This next hurricane season, people aren't going to be ready in some cases. You have to make different plans.
Different plans are necessary because of the catastrophic and extensive damage Ian left behind. Just in Lee County, more than 52,000 structures were impacted, more than 5,000 were destroyed, and more than 14,000 had major damage. In Collier County, 33 buildings were destroyed. More than 3,500 buildings sustained major damage, and in Charlotte County, at least 200 homes were destroyed.
Now this year, considering the coastal communities, our barrier islands, and the condition that some of those communities are in, where typically, like say a tropical storm, we may not call for evacuations because some of those homes, they may be livable, but they may not be suitable during a tropical weather event.
That post-Ian home damage, Lee County Director of Public Safety Benjamin Abe says, is something evacuation leaders will be paying close attention to this year.
So we may take additional actions this year because some of those areas are more vulnerable because they are not fully repaired.
Charlotte County Emergency Management Director Patrick Fuller adding this.
Once hurricane season starts, the most important thing is getting yourself in a position where you're not putting your life in danger.
This year, it has to be part of your hurricane plan. You have to look around your house and determine if you're secure. Can it withstand a tropical threat? Maybe you're like this house behind us where there's still damage to the roof. Maybe your shutters were damaged during Hurricane Ian. Well, this year, you have to act differently, and that may include evacuating for the very first time.
Well, there's certainly challenges that a number of our residents, both in the county and throughout the region, are experiencing when it comes to rebuilding, repairing their homes. The most important thing is life safety.
In some cases, you may have felt comfortable not evacuating and staying in your home, but now maybe because of your roof or other repairs that have to be made, you may activate new components of that plan.
The impact of Ian on your home, something to keep top of mind as you prepare the storm season.
And that was meteorologist Trent Eric with that report. Now, those complications include damaged roofs, as you've just heard him say, and other structures you might not have been able to repair quite yet. And that makes it even more important for you to prevent even further damage from happening. And if a tropical weather does start heading our way, one place that you can start is in your own yard. So you can make it through the next storm a little bit easier if you address those dead or loose tree branches. And if you plan to store or tie down patio furniture, trash cans, grills, and potted plants. This will help reduce what we saw during Ian, from branches striking homes to trash cans blowing through yards.
There's an entire tree uprooted from the side of this road.
Windows and doors are another key focus where we really saw a difference during Hurricane Ian as well. When it comes to protecting windows during a storm, one option is to get impact-resistant windows if you can, or if you can, cover them with plywood or even hurricane shutters. During Hurricane Ian, while lots of shutters were ripped off, homeowners who secured their windows were more likely to avoid those windows completely shattering.
This is what our homeowners are facing on North Captiva. We have catastrophic wind damage here.
And when mounting hurricane shutters, it is important to mount them an inch out from your window frames. This is also a good time to check on the seals on your windows and doors, since we saw some of those doors buckle during Ian when they were not fully secured.
And who can also forget so many of the images of countless boats adrift in the storm surge, stranded on land after Ian pushed away. But plenty of local boat owners also learned new lessons on securing their vessels. Of course, the best move is to get a boat out of the water or out of the area entirely. But if neither is a viable option, do make sure the boat is tied up to a mooring on land instead of anchoring the boat in the water. Now, the historic storm surge during Ian was also part of the reason that the boats ended up everywhere, it seems. Roads, mangroves, even between houses. The owners who take their chances and also choose to keep their boats afloat need to make sure there's enough slack in the ropes that they use to tie up in order to accommodate the rising water levels. And happening right now, the city of Cape Coral is taking a very hands-on approach to hurricane preparedness. At the top of the hour, we took you inside the city's Hurricane Expo at the Mercola Market. That's right off Pine Island Road.
Let's go ahead and rejoin Fox 4's Colton Chavez live for us tonight at this expo. And Colton, you were talking with people ahead of tonight's meeting about their own preparations ahead of tomorrow's start of the hurricane season. What did he tell you?
Well, Dean, the thing that I heard from a lot of people I talked to was that Hurricane Ian changed everything and actually made them want to be more prepared for next hurricane season. That's exactly what the city of Cape Coral says they're doing here, is making sure everybody's prepared before the storm, during the storm, and after the storm. But what I found from people today, what they consider to be prepared is what varies.
Definitely, last one was scary.
I'm not too nervous.
I would say better prepared this time.
Better prepared means something different for each person I spoke with in Cape Coral. Just one day before the start of this year's hurricane season, and only 8 months since Ian made landfall in southwest Florida. So have you started collecting any sort of like bottled water, canned foods, batteries, anything of that nature yet?
No, I don't. I'm not that type of disaster person.
Having been here in Florida now since 2018, yeah, I'm a bit more prepared.
I mean, have we even started gathering any of that yet?
Oh, no, but I always keep like money in my car and clothes in my car.
All preparations the city of Cape Coral wants to help people build on so they can create a complete plan with help from this year's Hurricane Preparedness Expo. Booths set up around Mercola Market, the city of Cape Coral says is set up so people can visit and learn how to better prepare for the times before, during, and after a hurricane. The event, which is free to anyone who lives in Cape Coral, is part of what the city calls its 2023 Hurricane Preparedness Campaign, a push to make sure people are prepared for the future, as people I spoke with today say the memories of Ian are still fresh in their minds.
That was my first hurricane last year that I experienced down here.
Be prepared and just leave. Honestly, just listen to what they tell you.
I'm prepared. I have everything stocked up and all that.
And for more information on how you can be better prepared for this hurricane season, go to our website, fox4now.com. Live in Cape Coral tonight, Colton Chavez, Fox 4.
And also, with so many things to also make sure that you're ready, what else should you take with you should a storm head this way? Most importantly, key identification documents and also anything you don't want to lose, especially in a flood, including a passport. Those are always hard to replace. Medical records, birth certificates, and also your social security card. And put them in a folder or a binder that's easy to find so you can grab it before you have to leave. Also, experts recommend packing at least a week's worth of medication. But do remember this, during Hurricane Ian, it took much longer for some people to get back to their homes after the storm, and also for some stores and pharmacies to reopen. You remember those days leading into October, so do try to keep that in mind when you're planning.
And there are some things that you can stock up on right now this month, even right now during the Hurricane Disaster Preparedness Tax Week that's going on. We're talking about essential items like candles, flashlights, batteries, bottled water, toilet paper, and paper towels. This can all be stored in advance so you're not running around last minute. And we all remember those long power and water outages after Ian, many of us depleting through many of these supplies. Along with that, so many of us went weeks without internet, making it harder to communicate with loved ones both here in Florida and out of state. So that means if you decide not to evacuate ahead of the next storm, you do have to think about how you can keep your cell phones powered for long periods of time. We've also heard from some Hurricane Ian survivors over the last several months that they say not knowing where to house their pets complicated their evacuation decision making. That means right now really is also the time to start thinking about what you will do. For example, some local counties, including Lee County, have programs to try and help keep track of your pets if you do become separated during a storm.
We have a great service at our Lee County Domestic Animal Services off of 5600 Banner Drive. For $10, you can get your microchipped, your pet microchipped, and we would definitely recommend that just in case you're separated.
And that microchipping can help as well. During Hurricane Ian, animal shelters all over Southwest Florida took in hundreds of pets, but microchips did make it much easier to reunite them with their homeowners. Now, some county shelters are pet friendly too. You can search through our list of shelters on fox4now.com to determine if there's one near you. We also mentioned having a plan for a hotel out of the area. If a storm is headed our way, don't forget to ask if that hotel is pet friendly as well. Now, whether you are headed to a hotel or a shelter, if you evacuate, you want to make sure you also pack plenty of pet food and any medications that might be needed for your pets. Also, make sure you have appropriate crates and kennels, since most of the shelters require it. And if you are struggling to put your hurricane checklist together, do not worry. Fox 4 is watching out for you. We have a complete checklist designed for you right now on our website, fox4now.com, or you can pull out your phone, scan this QR code right here on your screen. On fox4now.com, you just got to click on the Weather Center tab. There you'll find the Hurricane Center with links to all of this information to get you prepared ahead of hurricane season again tomorrow.